Good morning and good evening, friends. Omega Pyramid, Dallas, PSSM Corporate, and Pyramid Valley International welcomes you to day 109 of Stillness Beats, a daily dose of meditation and wisdom. Today, let's invite Master Sharth to conduct today's meditation. Master Sharth, please continue the meditation.
Hi Vaishnavi. Hope my audio is okay.
Yes.
All right. So let's begin meditation. So as usual, let's take 10 seconds break in silence. Let's create a separation. Approach while getting into meditation is very important. So be in silence. Okay. The method what we are going to use is breath meditation, Ana-Pana-Sati meditation. Steps are very simple. You can see on the screen shortly. Sit quietly in a comfortable posture. Clasp your fingers. Close your eyes and start watching your breath. If you're sitting on a sofa or a couch, you can cross your legs. Very simple. Now, before closing your eyes, observe the surroundings. And bring into awareness whatever you can. You're going to fade away later, but for now, bring that into your awareness. Now, slowly close your eyes. Relax your body. Relaxation of mind starts with relaxation of the body. Let go of everything. See, here also observe there are many things going on. Incessant thought of thinking, thoughts. Bring your attention to the breath. Inhalation, exhalation. Inhalation, exhalation. There are many other things happening on the body, but focus should be on the breath. All other things will happen. Do not interfere. Don't do anything. Just withdraw. Withdraw and come to breath. If thoughts appear, acknowledge and come back to breath. Background music begins. Go there, but come back to breath. Withdraw from everything. Don't even try to breathe. It's happening on its own. Anchor yourself to the breath. Keep coming back. Withdraw from everything. Hmm. Your little voice keeps judging, analyzing. Stop it. Get back to breath. That's your ego. Your ego also tells I am meditating. Drop that also. Withdraw. Relax. Be with the breath, masters. breath masters. If breath is disappeared, be with the stillness. Be with the stillness. Be with the breath. Be with the nothingness. Masters, from this space of stillness, energy, and calmness, let's heal ourselves and heal the world. Mentally repeat following affirmation along with me. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Let's also make following agreements with our life. Say to yourself, I will be impeccable with my words. I will not take anything personally. I will not make any assumptions. I will do my best at all the times. Be in this state for next few minutes, masters. Last 1 minute. Thirty seconds. Ten, nine, eight, seven, six, five, four, three, two, one. Bring your palms together. Keep it on your closed eyelids and slowly open your eyes to here and now. Excellent masters. In meditation, or when we leave this world, the last thing, the last sense which will be with you is the hearing. Everything else will fade away if you are sincere and you are with the breath. But what stays with you at your will at the same time is your hearing. So what you can do is when you're meditating, if you're meditating for half an hour, let the music be there for the 20 minutes, for the last 10 minutes. Let music also go away because in meditation, everything else disappears. Everything. You withdraw from everything. You do nothing. That's what is going to happen. Practice this. Thank you for meditating with me today. Over to you, Vaishnavi.
Thank you so much, sir. This meditation is beautiful but very powerful. It's very nice. Thank you. Let us continue to our wisdom session today. Today's speaker is Sagar sir from Pyramid Valley. Sai Krupa Sagar is a meditation teacher, speaker, and technology leader with over 15 years of meditation experience. He teaches Ana-Pana-Sati Meditation and Yoga Sutras through in-person and online classes worldwide. He's also a trustee at the Pyramid Valley International at Bangalore and leads meditation courses and retreats that have helped many people. The topic he'll guide us through today is transformation through consciousness. Let's welcome Sagar sir. Stage is yours, sir.
All right, namaste. Namaste, everyone. Good morning, good evening to people all around the globe. I hope you're able to hear me. My audio okay?
Yes.
Yes, wonderful. Thank you. And today is, what is the number of the day?
109.
109, wonderful. So I'm the first one past the yogic milestone of 108. So, yeah, I know you've been hearing about consciousness. We've been hearing about consciousness this whole week, and we just stepped out of a practice, a tool that allows our consciousness to be upgraded or elevated. Before I dive into this session, I hope I have the permission to share as well. While we do that, what is consciousness? We've been through all that, right? So can someone type in your accepted definition of consciousness? What is consciousness? Being aware, awareness, attention and aware of everything, being present without thoughts, awareness that you are love and everything in the universe is love. All right, any more definitions? Guidance from soul. Wonderful. Knowing what you are doing and happening, thinking of righteousness always and acting according to it. God within. Wonderful. Thank you, all of you. Most of you are spot on. It's about being aware. Consciousness is nothing but about being aware. Being aware of what? We don't need to be aware of any specific property, any specific attribute of ourselves. It's about being aware of what is happening externally and what is happening internally. What is being aware of what is happening externally is that one pointed, focused attention, presence in whatever we are doing. Being aware internally. What do I mean by being aware internally? Some of you mentioned the definition. Being aware of my thoughts, my emotions, my feelings, the sensations in my body, whatever it is, that is what is being aware of. I can be conscious that I'm thinking. I can be conscious that I'm feeling sad. I can be conscious or I can be aware that I'm feeling angry. As long as we are aware of what is happening inside or outside, we are perfect. Most problems arise when we are away from that, when we are unconscious. So that is one part. The other part of it is obviously some of you said we are a soul and knowing that we are God. So that is the wisdom part, right? So you're also aware of the wisdom. For example, me being a software engineer, when I am doing some work, I need to be aware of what I've learned from memory. I need to be aware of what I have to do and take the appropriate decisions. So similarly, if I'm a teacher, if I'm a singer, I need to be aware. I need to know what I need to be doing at that particular time. When I play music, something should follow something. I cannot abruptly do something else. When I'm speaking, I need to be coherent. I need to be logical. So that is being aware of the knowledge or wisdom in each one of us. Spiritually, we say being aware that you are consciousness, you are God, you are the soul, more than we are the mind, we are the body. Is the next level of consciousness or next level of awareness. So wonderful. So Prithvi has done a wonderful job talking about love and consciousness all this week and few days, and then several sessions have been happening, 108 sessions. Really wonderful. Going through several sessions, several topics. Really a great job. So today I'm going to focus on a couple of models as I showed you. So I'm going to talk about, so there are several models of consciousness. If you look at yogic philosophy as well, there are several models of consciousness. And what I'm going to do is just talk about transforming through consciousness through two such models, the David Oggin's map of consciousness and Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. So if you take 30 seconds, close your eyes, and just notice where your attention naturally rests. Is it your body? Is it your mind? Or is it something else? Wonderful. So you can open your eyes. So when we close our eyes, generally our attention rests in one or more of these spaces. Body. Right? Somewhere you have to place your attention, right? So either it could be a sensation, a breath, a physical tension, or most often than not, for most people like me who overthink, so it's more about the thoughts, emotions, and reactions. Or it could be anything to do with the work that I need to do rest of the day, or how long it's going to take, or whatever it is, right? That is mind. But as we are fresh out of meditation, some of us may be resting in that awareness, the witness consciousness beyond both. We might be looking at our body and mind from a totally separate space, which is what we call as witness consciousness, right? And that is the fourth state. Yogic scriptures talk about four states of consciousness. In fact, recently did a session on Shiva Sutras. It talks about four states. One we already know, it's waking state, dreaming state, and sleeping state. The fourth state, the Turiya state, is the awareness that runs through all the rest of the three. Yogis, when they are in a heightened state of consciousness or awareness, they are aware that they are sleeping. They are aware that they are dreaming. They are aware that they are awake. They are aware, they are thinking. Whatever they are doing, they are aware. So that thread of witness consciousness runs through their entire day, their entire weeks, their entire months. So that is a state ultimately all of us aim to do. And How do we get there? Step by step, step by step. So transformation, so that is about consciousness. When we transform ourselves, it is not about, there are two ways that we transform. There are several developmental models that talk about horizontal growth or horizontal transformation, or vertical growth or vertical transformation. So horizontal growth, we add more skills, more habits, more effort. So we learn all the techniques like pranayama, different types of meditations. I learn yoga. I read hundreds of books. They're all adding things at a horizontal level. Working harder. I'm going to do hours of meditation. I'm going to read a lot of books. The same person doing more things, right? But there needs to be a certain transformation. So this will all expand your skills, expand your breadth of tools that you know. Whereas vertical transformation elevates you, elevates the level of your consciousness. It's about what we call about shifting or changing your operating system, changing our mental operating system, shifting the entire operating level. It's about moving from doing to being. And once we shift vertically, we can also say, we also talk about ego to soul consciousness, ego level to soul level, right? So then we start operating at a different level. You will see magical things happening. You wouldn't need to put in more effort like you were before. So when we talk about vertical transformation, there is this one map that stands out to me. Maybe there are multiple levels of consciousness different teachers have taught. Mahesh Yogi, I think, has 8 or 9 levels. Then different levels of consciousness with different teachers. So for most of us coming from a intellectual background, science background, so this will appeal a lot more. So Dr. David Hawkins published a wonderful book called Power versus Force. Some of you might have read it. So it talks about a map of consciousness where he's kind of given a number or a metric to different levels of emotions or different energy levels. And the way he's done that is he did that with thousands of subjects. He does something called muscle testing. Some of you may be aware. You give it a number, you extend your hand and you try to press it down, right? And beyond, when as long as that particular thing is true for you, then the arm doesn't go down. When it is false for you, the arm goes down, right? And you can do it, but it requires a state of belief and state of calmness before it. The way it works is consciousness works through our nervous system. That is why breath is a deep connection to our nervous system. So consciousness works through our nervous system. Prana works through our nervous system. That's how it is. If you look at it, there are these different levels. And at the lower end of the spectrum, and he's assigned a number to it. At the lower end of a spectrum is all the things that we generally talk about emotions with lower energy levels. Right? Shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, and pride. And then as we go up, there are positive, what we generally term positive comes in. Right? It's courage, it's trust, optimism, forgiveness. And then you get on to some of the soul level attributes of understanding, love, compassion, gratitude, joy, peace. All these are more of the soul level attributes, right? So as you go past, we just categorize this. So at the bottom level, we talk about it more as the ego or identity level consciousness. And then generally when we are working with nothing productive, so it's more about logical or material consciousness. And then as we go higher up, it is what is the universal or soul level consciousness. When we say living from the ego or the mind, it is the lower half of it. When we say when you're living from your soul level consciousness, at the higher part of it. The beautiful thing is, you can easily relate to what is there on the right side of the slide. When we are in anger, when we are in shame, when we are in guilt, when we are in fear, the level of productivity that we see is very less. We are stuck in negative emotions. We are in inertia. We are in tamasic, or rajasic. So there's hyperactivity, right? So that is where that is the out of zone. That is where gives us the maximum anxiety, maximum stress, which is the red zone. And then as through practices like meditation, through practices like yoga, through practices like reading, we move up, we elevate our level of consciousness, right? And we slowly move into zone 1, which is what is supposed to be the happy and productive. I'm going to work, I'm doing the best that I can do without thinking too much, without thinking too negative about anything. And then as we move along, as we continue with our practices, you will see a state of no mind, state of no thoughts, where work happens automatically, magically. That's what is peak performance without stress. You want to do an activity, you have the thought, you have the intention, you take out of 5 steps, you take 2 steps, then the rest happens automatically. Either someone has done it for you, or there is something that you need to go and do. You need to put in certain effort, probably go to a particular location and do it. But before that, someone will come and tell you, hey, that's not the right way. Maybe there is something else to do, right? So you will get all these, what we call as meaningful coincidences, all these messages, all these insights at that level, which is what is peak performance. You'll be performing at the highest potential for that particular place, but without stress. And then level 3 is of course, synchronicity and extraordinary outcomes. I'm sure all of us, having been meditating for a long time, have seen a few of those extraordinary outcomes. Synchronicity, meaningful coincidences happening. And I've seen several, and then every time I talk about that to Patriji, he used to just smile. And I keep saying this, later you come to know, every time I used to say, sir, that is so magical. It was so wonderful. It was magic, pure. Thanks to you, thanks to meditation. And then he just used to smile. Later I come to know that is how life is supposed to be. Our life is supposed to be operating at the upper end of this pyramid, upper end of this triangle. Whereas our conventional education, conventional teaching, our society, somehow, because of ignorance, because of lack of right education, always pulls us to the bottom of this triangle. But again, this varies geographically in the different cultures as well. There are some cultures which probably more operate in the middle level of this, middle layer of this triangle. So David Hawkins, in his book Power versus Force, right, he says, what is power versus force? When you're operating at the upper part of this triangle, you have power. You have power to make things happen magically, right? That is what productivity, peak performance, and synchronicity. Whereas when you're operating at the lower half of this triangle, you need to put in a lot of force to get things done, right? That is why we talk about peak performance without stress. So when you're operating at lower levels of consciousness, you're still conscious. You're not saying you're not conscious, right? You're conscious of your anger, you're conscious of your greed, you're conscious of your grief, right? So when your level of awareness grows at the lower levels of awareness, you need to put in a lot of effort, including some people who, when you do the practice, some people believe that they are their body, they are their mind. Then they'll have to do everything from the space of material consciousness, right? Then they'll have to work through a lot, put in a lot of hard work. But the moment they start feeling that they are not matter, they are not the mind, they're not the body, they are something more, they are something, they are a higher level of awareness and consciousness, they slowly move up to the upper part of this triangle, which is when things happen, which is when you use your true power to make things happen. Earlier, you used to do in a lot of force to make things happen. Now you use your power to make things happen. And how do we, I usually talk about this in my retreats, how do you measure the level? Very simple. It's like any sport that has a score. I mean, generally we talk about cricket, there is a score. The number of runs you score, more the number of runs you score is the better. So similarly, you can at any point of time, by end of the day, just look at what was the predominant emotion in this chart, from this chart, that you were throughout the day. Let us say one day I was mostly fearful. I was asked to do something, I was stuck in fear. So that for me, the score for the day is 100. Let's say tomorrow, I'm doing something better, right? I'm trusting the process. Then tomorrow my score is 250. And then day after tomorrow, again go back into I was guilty about something or some happening, something from my past affecting me. Then you are lower score. At the end of the week, you can just average out the score and it will give you a score. That is your level of consciousness for that particular week. Just a rough heuristic, right? So that's how you do. And then the goal is to kind of when you spend a lot more time in the upper levels of this chart, then you are elevating yourself in your levels of consciousness. All right. So, and the key insights from this is most people oscillate between fear and pride and call it life. And I don't think any of the 42 of us who are attending this believe that, because we've been through a lot of wisdom sessions, been through a lot of meditation, right? And moving from ego level to our logical level is the key turning point. Having the courage to do things, right? I always feel very proud of the team, the organizing team that has been doing the Stillness Beats. Doing this, taking the commitment to do it for 365 days is not simple. Kudos to each one of you. Many thanks to Prithvi, Vikalji, Vaishnaviji, Sharatji, everybody. Right? And I know a lot of other masters who've been taking sessions, who've been doing this every day. So we've all crossed that courage. I mean, earlier it was, oh my God, it's 365 days. How do I do it? Do I need to do it every day? All those thoughts will come. But when we take the courage, when we move up, we are elevating ourselves, right? And as I said, above 200, power life sustaining, below 200 is force life draining. Each level is not a mood, it's a completely different worldview. Yes, that's an important thing. It's not, though the names out there feel they are like an emotion, right? They're like an energy level. Each of it is an entire worldview. The way I look at things, the way I look at people at level 150 with anger, the worldview I have at a level of 150 or 175 is a lot different from the way I am looking at it at level 350, let's say acceptance, right? Or from a level of 600, peace and bliss, right? So the way you look at it, immediately you'll know what is happening in your body, what is happening in your mind. And once you know you are at a particular level, the call to action is try and see if you can move up, right? For example, if I am in fear, try and see if I can have some desire. Compared to anger and fear, if you are in anger, it's a lot better than being in fear. That's another implication of this chart, right? And there are a lot of resources on the web. You can probably reach out and look at it or take one of the books. So this is one model, my dear friends, the map of consciousness, which I found very good. In fact, the other aspect is the purpose of life. We always talk about the purpose of life, and then some of you have gone through the levels of soul, the soul journey, why we incarnate, right? And my take is all of us have taken this lifetime to move up this chart, right? In a past lifetime, there were certain things that have happened. In this lifetime, I have come here to cultivate certain attributes to move up this chart. That's another way to look at it, right? If in the past I've been mostly a fearful or angry person, I was not able to let go of an anger, let go of fear, then this lifetime I need to definitely move up the chart. That is how we evolve. Our soul evolves, learning through different experiences, and it goes through this whole range of emotions. All right. So that is one model. And then Patanjali, who wrote Yoga Sutras and a lot of other texts, right? And why do we get stuck? So we said, if you look at it, most of these are some, Patanjali talks about 5 kleshas that always keeps us in suffering. The other way to look at this chart is also the lower part is more leads to suffering, whereas the upper part leads you out of suffering into freedom, right? And why do we get stuck in the lower part? And again, the levels of awareness and levels of consciousness for us will be different in different life domains. In relationships, it might be different. At work, it might be different. At work, it may be operating at a higher level, whereas in relationships, different. in my personal evolution, my personal living, I may be different, right? It's about getting everything coherent. So Patanjali talks about these 5 kleshas: ignorance, avidya, ego identity, asmita, attachment, desire, craving, raga, aversion, hatred, dvesha, and then fear of loss, abnivesha. And each of it, as you see, maps into different levels of the Hawkins scale. Hawkins shows where you are stuck, and Patanjali shows you why. And of course, gives you the tools, and one of the tools is meditation to get unstuck. And this is again, when we talk about mindfulness, every time you go through a thought, again, that increases the level of awareness, right? As you're aware of a thought going through your mind at this time or later, right? Immediately you'll relate to, did it come from my ego? Did it come from my desire? Did it come from my hatred? I don't want to do this, right? Or did it come from my fear or ignorance? I'm sure most of you are out of ignorance, unless and until some of them still believe they are their title, they are their position, they are their role, right? They are their mind and body, which causes suffering. So anytime if you have a sense of suffering, if you sit and reflect, it will be one of these 5 will actually be leading you to that sense of suffering. Straightforward, right? And then the way to increase that awareness, increase that gap between trigger and response is what gets expanded through meditation, which leads to mindfulness. All right. And how do we transform? So transformation happens at multiple levels. It is again the wonderful aspect of human experience, right? The body, mind, intellect, and then we have pure consciousness. The yogic system talks about the koshas as well, right? And there are different tools. In fact, I think I have a slide later, which I've kind of borrowed from one of my very early presentations, where I had presented different models of consciousness. I think those videos should be available on the Pyramid Valley YouTube channel, Living in Coherence. So if you look at it, most of the negative emotions, I think in my last session in February, I talked about this, how negative emotions get stuck in our body as vasanas, as tendencies, as energy blocks, right? So that is where Patanjali prescribes asana and pranayama, right? Bodily exercise, breath work, and lot of other tools that we use to kind of make sure. In fact, meditation covers all these. That's what Patriji taught us, right? So asana and pranayama, basically observing your breath, or pranayama, you can do conscious breathing. And mind is basically pratyahara and dharana. What is pratyahara? Cutting off from external, which is what we say, close your eyes. But having said that, when you're doing some work, it's about cutting yourself from distractions. And dharana is one point at focus. Distractions including what your mind is telling. Suppose you set out to do something and your mind or ego comes, oh, you can't do it. Other people have tried it, but they've not been successful. You need lots of money, you need lots of time, so all those distractions are all coming up from your subconscious mind, from your ego-driven subconscious mind, right? So shutting off all external distractions as well as internal distractions is when you kind of make your mind one-pointed. And then the way you use your intellect, viveka, discrimination. Is this right? Just like I said, where is this coming from? Which klesha is it coming from? Similarly, is it right? Who said it is right? Right? And then you get into meditation and see, is it right for you? Right? Now I've been looking at meditation more. Earlier, I always keep talking about calming the mind. Now I look meditation as a more connecting to your soul, connecting to your inherent higher self or consciousness, and trying to get answers. I have a question, I get an answer. Do I need to do this? Do I not need to do this? Again, you don't need to overuse it. I mean, generally we tend to overuse things, right? So how do you get it? So that is what is intellect. You don't use your worldly intellect alone. You combine that with your internal consciousness to do things. And that is where acceptance, peace, and love. And the once you get to know you are pure consciousness, that is the samadhi state of Patanjali. So just mapping between mapping between David Hawkins' model and Patanjali's model. This is a transformation map. Level 1 body. So as we saw, the lowest levels lie in the body as chronic tension, numbness, shallow breath, and you cannot keep thinking away. You cannot letting go of it, right? The way you do it is asana and pranayama. As you say, the practice here, we all know Ana-Pana-Sati meditation, feeling the body sensations without labeling them, staying with discomfort until it moves. This is another common teaching from Ana-Pana-Sati or Vipassana, right? Where you are in meditation, the moment you notice any pain in your body, the moment you notice any sensations, any itching, any discomfort, you just label them, right? You don't. There are two ways. Either you are keep on thinking about it and suffer without letting go, say thinking that, oh, I shouldn't be having the pain, I shouldn't be having this, I shouldn't be having this, then you are stuck with it. The second way is to letting go. How do you let go of it? Label it and let go of it. Or move your attention, focus to that discomfort. Stay with that discomfort until it moves, which is nothing but acceptance, right? So Ana-Pana-Sati meditation also kind of heals your body a lot, and we cover that in different sessions on mindfulness. So stillness begins here. This is the foundation. That's why we practice Ana-Pana-Sati. And then mind is more about mindfulness. It's more about bringing awareness. The practices generally is being aware of anger, being aware, where is this coming from? This is coming from my ego, right? That's that mindfulness. That mindfulness is nothing but the gap between the trigger and the response, right? So, and yeah, so they again maps it to different levels of Hawkins and Patanjali. So binding the mind to one point, voluntary attention over scattered reactivity. That is what 1 point attention, 1 point focus, where we shift from anger to courage to willingness or acceptance and neutrality. That's the middle path. So things like heart coherence breathing, right? And being mindful of my emotion and letting go of it, labeling the state, labeling the state of your body, state of your mind, and letting go of it allows you to do it. And Ana-Pana-Sati is the best practice because in meditation, what do? Every time there is a distraction, there is a thought, we bring our attention back to our breath. And one of the techniques for letting go of the thoughts is to labeling them, right? So you recognize it, you come back. You recognize it, you come back. Similarly, as we go through the transformation, there will be states where you feel that, oh my God, where is that coming from? That's coming from fear. That's coming from my past experience of something. So it doesn't need to be the same now. So you let go of it, you label it. That was the past, that was memory. That is level 2. And then again, as you go up the level, we talk about things like who is aware of this thought. Is this fact? Is this a pre-programmed belief? Is this a conditioned thought? Right? How am I interpreting it? So you use the level of intellect to start discriminating. But the sequence is very important. More often than not, this is something very easy for us to do. When we do this, we'll be doing it from the level of our samskaras, the level of our old level of consciousness. The earlier practices, level 1 and level 2, slowly move you up. As you move up the ladder of consciousness, then the answers to the questions that we get keeps changing, keeps varying, right? And for example, at this level, you feel a lot of very smart, intelligent people spiritually stuck. And then there are so-called spiritual people stuck to certain way of doing things, certain teachings, right? They're not more open, right? So that is where discriminating mind, the level of awareness that you get from discriminating mind gives you this, right? So the critical transition. So as we move up the ladder, at one point we start, that's what again the downside here, the caution here is that we shouldn't be over-analyzing. When we are not developed in the level 1 and level 2, we'll start over-analyzing, we'll start overthinking, right? Which is the danger of the discriminating mind. At some point, we need to leave all those reasoning as well. That is the critical transition that you see here, right? Sometimes the intellect becomes an obstacle. It overanalyzes, labels, and controls everything. if you're not doing it right, including the spiritual path itself. So this, at that level, we stop clinging to thought. We look at thought, any thought. That's one of my favorite quote right now. It's a path of non-thinking. Absolutely no thinking. Don't think about anything, no analysis. That's another state of mind when automatically insights come in, when thoughts come in. You exactly know what to do when you need to do, right? So going past the discriminating mind is again contemplation, satsang, reading. Again, there is a danger. You overdo it, then your mind gets into a state of analysis, right? So those are the three levels. And as you move up the ladder, as you get into the states of samadhi, this is how we know. We move from body awareness to mind awareness to intellect awareness, and then slowly into being. And this is another way of looking at the evolution of consciousness. Same thing relates to the koshas that we talk about, the pancha koshas, right? From the body to energy to mind to your intellect or the Gnanamaya kosha. And then at a being level, you are in that state of witness consciousness, right? And that is how we do. And how do we get through it? Again, don't worry about this timing. So these are like generally for the beginners. So your personal roadmap, one thing, step one, where do I spend most of my time on the Hawkins scale? Right, as I mentioned, is it more fear? Is it more anger? Is it more acceptance? Whatever it is. And then periodically looking at which klesha is most active in me right now. Mindfulness of emotions, mindfulness of thoughts and feelings, right? Is it fear? Is it anger? Is it ego? Right? Or is it not wanting to do something? And then which layer? Based on that, you will need to look at it. If it is more at a bottom layer, you need to do more of meditation, right? And then as you move up to handle different set of emotions, you'll need to add mindfulness. And then slowly things like discrimination comes from knowledge or wisdom. And Patriji, I don't know, some of you might have seen the PSSM logo, right? It talks about energy, wisdom, and consciousness. Energy helps you in the lower level, then wisdom, and then you reach a state of consciousness. Energy, wisdom, and consciousness together. Each of us are EWC bodies, that's what he says. All right. So with that, the last slide, this is a summary slide that I had. As I said, as I keep saying, meditation allows us to do three things. The transformation has three pillars. First, it calms the mind, then it cleanses the subconscious patterns. That's what you see on the horizontal, the columns, right? And then it connects you to your superconscious or your soul. And there are several techniques. This is some research that I did a few years ago. And there are different tools, especially the Indian yogic system gives us, right? And each of the tools does one or more of these three things wonderfully well. And sometimes they also kind of allow you to do the other things occasionally, right? For example, energy-based techniques. You look at it, breath work, meditation, mindfulness, flow activities in sport, right? And hatha yoga. So each of these, all of them calm your mind. There are a few that cleanse, and there are a few that connect you to your soul consciousness. And then there are psychology-based tools, right? Emotional healing, reflection, new wisdom or insights, accomplishment, achieving something. The moment you achieve something, that's why in psychology, there's a scale called PERMA. And that achievement is accomplishment is one of the goals. The moment you accomplish something, you feel a sense of calm. And sometimes those are the moments where you connect to your soul as well. All right. So this again, there are different set of tools. A lot of people ask, why do I practice? Do I need to practice meditation? Do I need to practice this kind of meditation? Again, different types of meditations again have relation to different things. What I observed, mindfulness meditation, breath mindfulness meditation is something that does all these three. There are certain types of meditation that just allow your mind to calm. Their premise is that as your mind gets calm, you automatically will move into other stages as well. All right. So my dear friends, how do we go up the map of consciousness? We don't climb the map. We don't say, I am here, I need to be there, right? It's about dissolving what keeps us to the lower rungs. The moment we let go of anger, the moment we let go of pride, the moment we let go of wanting to do things, the moment we let go of acceptance, we kind of start moving up the ladder. All right. So that's kind of a very super fast look into two models of consciousness and some of the tools and some of the steps for us to move up to practicing these tools and to move the layer of consciousness, right? And to me, this is one of the purposes of our life, for us to evolve in a level of consciousness, right? When the goal is for all of us to be realizing that God consciousness in this lifetime, a lot of us have some baggage, some karmic baggage to clear. We came with some certain set of baggage. It is possible. I think Buddha says someone who has that steadfastness, earnestness, intention to do it, they might become enlightened. What is enlightenment? Enlightenment is feeling that you are that consciousness at higher levels. Buddha says you can achieve it in 7 days with all the practices that he did, or someone can take 7 lifetimes. Right? So it is about that, the level of thing. But of course, we are here for a lot of other things. All of us are not here to become that 24/7 sadhu on the Himalayas, right? We are. It's not about being in the mountains. All of us are in the marketplace. So there are certain things to do. So as we do it, as we continue our spiritual path, we are letting go of a lot of things. And the beauty of the middle path that Patriji and Buddha has taught us is we can apply a lot of those spiritual concepts in our everyday life. As we go through our family work, as we go through our job, right? As we go through a lot of social work, we get to cultivate a lot of these things. All right. Wonderful. Thank you. I hope it was helpful. Basically, the idea was to give you 2 models. I don't know whether I've complicated it, but you get the idea. You're all meditators. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. This was really good. Yeah. Vaishnavi, 2 minutes. So it's a lot of perspective, like, we struggle to understand how we are progressing, right? So again, all these things is only for reference. It's not to really cling on to it. I think you have made it sufficiently clear. It's a great wisdom. And then, as it says, to your point, sir, you should start at the point where the life is currently allowing, right? It could be anything. It is for everyone, right? Someone maybe at love, right? Somebody at anger because of various circumstances. Start from there, measure, and use the techniques to go up the ladder. Thanks so much, sir, for giving this perspective. Vaishnavi, anything to cover? Over to you. Thanks so much, sir. Gratitude.
Thank you. Wonderful. Really appreciate the opportunity. And I'm always in awe and appreciation of all the work that you are doing, the whole team. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Sagar, sir. That's a beautiful session. There's so much knowledge. Does anyone have any questions? Let us open up the stage for question and answers. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat or raise your hand. And then call on you. Yes, Davy. Please go ahead. Please raise your hand if you have any questions.
No, I would like to thank everyone. So good, so much. Sir, Sai Krupa Sagar, sir, you're so knowledgeable. Thank you so much for all the support and help to all of us to raise ourselves.
Thank you, ma'am.
Does anyone else have any? Himalata has a question about vertical awareness. Could you elaborate on that?
Yes, vertical awareness. So basically, the awareness, there's nothing like vertical awareness, right? So awareness is about, the only thing I would say probably is awareness of your body, mind, and intellect, right? So initially, you are being aware. As long as you're aware of your body, then there is at one level, right? All of us are mostly most people are aware of their body because of their doing exercises and others. Then as you grow up the ladder, you are aware of your thoughts and feelings and emotions, right? So that is the next level. Then you are aware of why you are thinking this way you are thinking, right? That is what I probably attribute as vertical awareness. And again, this all maps to, again, Buddha's model of mindfulness of your body, mindfulness of feelings, mindfulness of thoughts, right? And mindfulness of the truths or consciousness, right? So that is what is vertical awareness. And the beautiful thing is Ana-Pana-Sati meditation allows you to do this step by step, right? Initially, you're aware of your body posture, initially aware of your breath, then slowly you're aware of the distractions, right? And then you're aware of the nothingness. Again, it's a practice that allows you to span the spectrum from the lower levels of consciousness or material consciousness to the nothingness or more the space level consciousness.
Okay, thank you. I hope that answered your question. I saw Vikal sir had his hand up. Do you have a question? And yeah.
Good morning, sir. It's always great and to see you on screen and sharing such wisdom. Deep gratitude to you, sir. So
Same
my
here.
question is, how do we measure the progress? That is, one part of this discussion that we need to keep measuring when you are in anger or shame is the lowest score is 20 and then keep going up and keep observing and see the progress. But second, when we talk about, then we are getting into the lot of
I think there is an issue with his Wi-Fi. Let's move on to the next question. I saw another question in the group chat. They're asking about some books to read about love and transformation. Could you have any recommendations or anything for that?
Yes, as I mentioned, obviously Yoga Sutras and David Hawkins' books, Power versus Force, is kind of closely related to this topic. But having said that, there's a lot of books around love and transformation, right? And meditation. So I would recommend Power versus Force, which is a pretty old book. Then you can read about Yoga Sutras, Patanjali's Yoga Sutras as well. And if you are really interested in how meditation really helps you move up the ladder, then my favorite recommended book, but very thick book, very big book, is Mind Illuminated. Mind Illuminated by Kuladasa, Richard Kuladasa, I think, right? And then another very small book that I've been recommending now is Don't Believe Everything You Think. Right? It's a very small book by Joseph Nguyen that says, it talks about the path of non-thinking. And as you don't think, I mean, that again talks about you are love, you are wisdom, everything. So you don't need to think as much. And the moment you are connected with your consciousness, you'll automatically know what to do, what not to do. So those are some of the books. I'm sure Prithvi will have a lot more.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Does anyone else have any questions? Please put them in the group chat or raise your hand. Sharada ma'am has a question. Oh, could you read the name and the writer of the last book you mentioned?
Okay.
Please, anyone else, please raise your
Okay.
hand or put your question in the group chat. Yeah, I think the book that he was asking about was End of Suffering by Joseph N.
Okay, I've typed that in there.
Thank
Oh,
you.
already someone. Sirisha, pretty quick. Yes. Wonderful. Thank
Does
you.
anyone
I didn't
else,
see that.
have any questions? Okay, then. Oh, we have another question. Oh, they're sharing experience. Thank you. Okay, thank you so much, sir. This meditation that it was sharing was really beautiful. We learned a lot of knowledge. Thank you so much. We have so much deep gratitude for you. Thank you all for your wonderful participation today. Let's have a great day ahead and meet you all tomorrow at the same time. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, everyone. Thanks very much for this opportunity, the Stillness Beat team and Omega Pyramid team, Shambhala team. So really appreciate the effort again. As I said, please keep this going and appreciate all the effort from the entire team. And I know this is a much needed effort for everyday people to join. In fact, I've seen quite a few people from my Pyramid Valley classes and retreats mention this program and say they are attending this, right? So wonderful, great effort, and thanks for the opportunity, and hope to see you next month. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. Let us see each other tomorrow too. Thank you.